So you're at the point in your RV life where you are deciding on your next upgrade. Do you go high-end gas Class A or do you get into the diesel pusher world? That can be a very tough decision. In this video, we are getting into the diesel pusher world with the 2026 Palazzo GT 33.6. Gas? Diesel? Let's go figure this out. So to walk us through the advantages of a Class A diesel pusher, product lead on the Palazzo GT, Colin Seiko. Colin, sort out for us, please, the differences and the advantages of going shorter Class A diesel versus a comparable Class A gas.
Oh, killer, yeah, absolutely. There's so many advantages, especially when we're able to, get down to the price point of one of these, which is actually very, very close to what you would find in a Class A gas. It's all gonna revolve around that chassis. What's really cool about this product is you actually get all the benefits from a super high-end A diesel chassis and a very kind of bite-sized and manageable package. So the main thing is gonna be that Freightliner chassis, right? So it's gonna be on air ride. So instead of it being on leaf springs or, just the ride is gonna be much smoother, but it's also gonna do a good job of fighting all those, forces that may, really negatively impact your drives. The other benefit too is gonna be the maneuverability. So easy to walk up to a, longer unit like this and kind of make the assumption that, it might be a little more difficult to maneuver. The opposite is actually the truth. So instead of having to kind of push our wheelbase all the way to the front of the motorhome, which we have to do in some cases because you got that big heavy engine up front, our engine's all the way at the rear. So we can shorten that wheelbase and actually put it more in the center of the motorhome. And then on top of that, when you turn the wheel till it stops turning, it'll be out to 55 degrees of wheel cut. So this can easily outmaneuver some of your smaller Class C's out there and just really put you in line and makes it super, super easy to use.
And one of the other advantages of a Freightliner chassis like this is going to be our storage. So walk us through the advantages of the storage on here and how we do it a little bit different.
For sure, yeah. One of the biggest things is you'll notice it's all white in there, which is awesome. Also, it's fully insulated. So, but one main thing that I love to see is no carpet whatsoever. I don't have to worry about spilling anything or super, super easy to clean and maintaining carpet like that. So the bigger bay is gonna be right there. What's really cool is we're the only manufacturer to kind of build above the belt line. So you're gonna have that additional storage that's built into, basically the structure of the unit here and full pass through. And you'll notice in there, we have some frame rails.
Right, so walk us through, because this is a straight rail chassis.
It is, yeah. So
walk us through the straight rail, raised rail, differences, advantages, benefits, so on and so forth.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. And we build on both. I love these straight rail chassis for a few reasons. Number one, first and foremost, is gonna be your center of gravity. So the balance of the motorhome, and we don't have to add unnecessary weight to raise that foundation up and kind of build that storage up. But also it's really gonna give you a much shorter wheelbase. So 208-inch wheelbase is gonna be, way shorter than we could ever get in a raised rail because we have to go to a front entry. So that's the other benefit, is we are in a mid-entry motorhome. So very familiar to what you're used to seeing in some Class C's and Class A's. Front entry has its advantages, but what I love is being right underneath this patio awning, going inside and outside the unit. And you'll notice, we won't go in quite yet, but the step inside is gonna be one step.
Okay.
So normally you're used to seeing three steps, a lot tougher, additional steps is never a good thing when you're running in and out of the unit all day, every day, right?
And over 3,700 pounds of occupant and cargo carrying capacity on this particular 33.6. Freshwater fill is right there. And as we go back here, batteries, breakers. So let's talk while I'm train of thought, seeing batteries, it's sunny and hot out. Let's talk about solar on this.
Absolutely, yep. So we're gonna have 4 6-volt house batteries, 2 12-volt chassis, and then we are gonna be equipping it with our solar charge controller. You could add up to 500 watts of solar if you want to, but from the factory, it's gonna be equipped as is.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice little back here, a number of controls.
Charge controller is gonna be at. You have your inverter, so 1800 watt inverter in this as well. It's gonna draw directly from those house batteries and power any of your 110 accessories. Simple as simple can be.
And let's talk about, we got frameless windows.
For sure.
We have beautiful full body paint. We have
we haven't even talked about the graphics
slide toppers. We have all kinds of features into the way that we build this and paint it and put it together. So kind of walk us through the process and how we do it.
100%. So we're gonna have a dual pane frameless all the way around. So really good glass on this, which is an optional extra. It is gonna be frameless regardless of which one you're gonna option. But then we're also gonna have you know, our new full body paint for 26, which has been incredibly well received. So full body paint all the way around, just like you would an automotive, and care for it just like you would a car. So it's really easy to maintain and easy to take care of, and I think just a really great look.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as we walk around back here, easy access, which is great for, you know,
all your fluids,
whether, you know, you're doing maintenance at the Freightliner shop, they can plug in there.
Very easy to do.
Super handy to have.
Yep.
And we got that hitch right down there.
Yeah, so a 10,000 pound hitch on this.
Yeah.
And, you know, just to reemphasize, this is the real fun part about the diesel chassis, especially versus some of the competitive, you know, gas products in the same price bracket, is that it's going to be, you know, 660 pound-feet of torque at 1,800 RPM. So normally with gas engines, you're going to make all that power at the high end of the rev range. So you're going to really, you know, have your foot to the floor before you're making that peak power. Here you get it from basically idle. So really gives you a ton of torque and power, which is what you want in a bigger unit, a little bit heavier unit, not only for towing, but just getting along the road. Just a way easier experience. Well,
not to mention it is incredibly quiet when you're driving down the road. A lot of times where you're in some of the bigger Class A's and, you know, you're getting up to speed, you can't carry on a conversation with the person next to you, which, you know, sometimes that's okay. Sometimes you don't want to talk, but in this, it's just quiet and it's smooth, and it's an entirely different experience from a driving standpoint.
For sure. Yeah, we'll get around to where the generator's at too, but those natural benefits, engine all the way in the rear for driving, and then you have a generator all the way to the front, furthest away from your bed. So if you were running that at night in ACs, then, you know, it's quiet both ways.
And up top, we have backup camera, docking lights.
Absolutely.
Helps you ease in. Just ease in.
100%.
Ease in. All right, walk us through what I like to call the business end over here.
For sure. Yeah, it's got your shore hook up here for power. And then we're gonna have our tankless hot water heater as well. So nice to have that. You're gonna have, this will power both of your dual 13.5 kV BTU ACs. So, you know, fully from your shore there or from the generator, either way that you want to do it.
DEF?
Yeah, DEF. So we got a 13-gallon tank here. So that'll get you, you know, basically coast to coast on that single tank. But if you want to top it off while you're at the fill station, that's very easy to do. It's always on the driver's side.
Okay. And then one of the easiest wet bays to use right here.
You play around with all of them, but I love that angle design. So we recently switched to that, where instead of it being a box that's all the way you know, low, especially, you know, yet another benefit of the diesel chassis being on that air ride. Whenever you let all the air out of the system, this is going to drop down 4 to 5 inches is kind of the average. So you're going to level off from a lower point, but oftentimes that can make it very low to get into your wet bay hookups. We don't do that here. So you're gonna have that angle design, so it's easy no matter what height the coach is at, and very self-explanatory. I love these, you know, the labeling on there, let you know exactly what position you need to be in for whatever situation you're in. Full house filtration.
Hot, cold shower.
Absolutely.
Everything back here. As we're talking about the storage bays, you know, we switched a while ago to no organic material being used, which I think is a huge benefit.
Absolutely correct. And you'll notice, you can see a bit of the substructure there. So fully modular as well. So no organic material. If you were to have, you know, road spray, or, you know, if it ever got wet for any reason, if you made a mistake and spilled something in there, it's all going to be inorganic, so it's not going to absorb any of that moisture. And you can always, you know, keep that maintained. And if you ever, you know, did need to replace anything, it's super modular and easier to do. So that's a great redesign that we did there.
Nice little place to store that 50 ampere.
Yes, sir.
And slam latch.
There you have it.
Nice,
easy
quiet, easy, secure. Just lock those babies up. Propane's gonna be right there.
There you go, 120-pound tank.
And
a little bit of storage above it too. Easy to kind of sacrifice that space, but
yeah, you know, the little tool bag, those little things you need to carry with you, and you're sure where to put them.
It's exactly right there, Mike.
Right there, right there.
All right. Driver's side fuel cell. So that's going to be a 90-gallon fuel cell in the Palazzo. So plenty of range. That's the flip side of having, you know, a diesel chassis is going to be that, you know, increased fuel economy, but also you get a little bit bigger fuel cell. So your range is going to be so much more, and it's going to run that generator for quite some time as well.
And right up here, we got hydraulic jacks.
Yes,
we have
sir.
all the guts of the system right in there.
And then you're gonna have your, you know, all your chassis fuses are gonna be there. Just super easy to access. It'd be super, I mean, it honestly probably be a little easier to kind of tuck this away up against the firewall, which a lot of manufacturers do. But if you ever had an issue or needed to access that, we want to make it in a place that you can very easily access it.
Yep. Convenience, that's what it's all about. Let's talk about our little cameras right in here.
Yeah, so side view cameras automatically going to activate when you have your turn signals on, or you can manually access it through the screen, but just makes that maneuverability effortless, and lane changes kind of a last minute check.
And then as we get around front, right under here, our generator. What size of generator are we running?
6,000 watt diesel. So Cummins Onan, same thing, diesel fueled, which is cool for a couple of reasons. Number one, very, very quiet. But number two, it's also variable load. So a lot of generators will run at full maximum, you know, no matter when you have it on or off. Here, let's say you're running 1 AC, it's only gonna provide that level of power that's necessary. So you end up saving a ton of fuel. So it'll go all the way down to 0.13 gallons an hour at idle, all the way up to, you know, a little under a gallon an hour. That will, you know, be your maximum fuel consumption here. So just super efficient, and I love that it adapts to how you're gonna use it.
And as we get right back around front, can't forget about our diamond shield front paint protection.
Absolutely, yeah. And living where I live out in the Rockies, it's a nice thing to have, and keeps you nice and protected from any of that you know, gravel that might be thrown up while you're going down the road.
And keeping you protected from the elements, this beautiful inside. We are going to set this up, put out the slides for you, and take you on a tour of this 33.6. So a few more things I want to talk about as we look at the chassis here. Walk us through the chassis and the dash, because that was a huge upgrade when Freightliner did that. And also of just how much different it's going to feel from the driver's seat if you decide, hey, I want to take and drive this back to this, how different it's going to feel.
Certainly, yeah. And that's something that can actually be intimidating, just because it's a little unfamiliar.
Right.
It's not what you're typically used to in a truck or a car, where, you know, the wheels that turn are in front of you. They're actually behind you now. So sounds like it'd be something that's very tough to get your head around. Really just 5 minutes behind the wheel on a test drive, which I couldn't recommend more. You know, it's something that, you know, in those first 5 minutes you realize just how much smoother and more effortless it is to drive these, because of the power, because of the air ride, and you know, any white knuckle moments you might have had in the past are going to be completely erased. So it's a really fun driving experience.
Now the air brakes too take a second to get used to, because they are going to stop you like that. Exactly
right. So they're, you know, arguably way overpowered for this application, but that's always a great thing.
Right.
It's really good to have the extra stopping power, being air actuated. And you know, it's something that you really don't think about either. It's very easy in the lifetime of a unit to, you know, expect to replace some, you know, normal braking systems on Class C's or A's. You know, it's something that you gotta check here with the A diesel brakes. It's something that's going to last for a very, very long time.
What's crazy is Tom and I were back over walking through, you know, kind of where they do some of that early maintenance on this, and we saw a chassis, Freightliner chassis, right down. The size of the calipers and the brake pads blew my mind. They're like this thick. They're massive.
Absolutely massive. They're really designed for, you know, over-the-road trucking and very heavy-duty commercial applications. So again, overkill and great, really good to have, but they are a little bit more, again, in that 5 minutes, you'll get used to it, but the first couple times, it's easy to kind of slam on the brakes a little bit, because they are so powerful.
Well, but as someone who wrenches on cars all the time and does brake jobs, I saw I'm the nerd who was like, oh, I got to take a picture of just how big these are. This is kind of cool. So
most car wheels.
Yeah, so let's, as I get way off track before that happens here, let's talk a little bit about the OptiView dash, because this was just a huge upgrade when Freightliner did this. You can even start it up if you want, just to show how quiet it is.
Absolutely.
Out here, it's just a really quiet. There, we have this running, engines in the back.
Yeah.
You may probably hear a little rumble, but just a very nice dash.
And easy for us to forget, because we've been running this for a couple of years. But yeah, this used to just be a normal steering wheel. Your cruise controls on a stalk down here, and then you had a whole bank of buttons here, which would be all of your, you know, what's cool about the chassis is that it has a turbo brake as well. So as you're coming up and over a grade with a big heavy load behind you, and you don't want to be, you know, using those brakes more than you want to, all you have to do is engage that turbo brake and the exhaust brake. It's going to be on this stalk here, which I love.
Yeah.
You know, being out in Colorado and coming over 70 and it's a 6.5% grade down, instead of hunting around for a button, all you do is just reach down and engage it there. But it's just a great view of everything, and more information than you could ever want or need, but it's all there, and it's customizable. You can have whatever you want displayed there in a very visible and good fashion. But also the buttons on the steering wheel, so you have your full cruise control there, full control for the actual functions of the dash, which one really cool thing that we have at this price point that almost nobody has is going to be your tire pressure. So hop into that menu and it'll tell you, exact pressure and temperature for each one of those tires. So really good safety thing to keep an eye on all that as you're going down the road. And this is actually a cool company called Valor. They manufacture the tire pressure monitoring system. You can actually buy that for your tow vehicle and integrate it in a way that it would actually show up on the dash here.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, 100%. Really, really cool deal. And then just driving, seating position. What I love is, I joke around, we're kind of driving around in HD versus standard definition, because you just have this big windshield up front. Not only are you higher, so you get a better view over your traffic in front of you, but just the view that you have as you're going down the road, it's just bar none.
And as we're driving down the road, you may be thinking, man, this is huge. It's hard to drive. How am I going to get where I need to go? What RV navigation app do I want? That's one of the great things about this system here, is whether or not you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you can download the specific RV navigation app of your choice, and it's just going to show up right there.
Capable of both and ready to roll. You don't have to go through the settings on everything and remember addresses. It's just all right there on your phone, whatever you want to go to. It's super, super easy to use.
And then when we're set up, we're treated to this.
There you have it.
Let's talk about the floor plan, because we have the sofa in here instead of theater seats, dinette, massive kitchen, lots of goodies. Go!
Yeah, 33.6. We probably sold more of this version than any other floor plan, because it is just such a great jack of all trades. And so we're going to have the straight sofa here across from your booth dinette. This will actually make an additional sleeping surface if you want, but also there's theater seats that are available as an option here. I love opposed seating for this exact reason. When you have these two chairs turned around here, these seats really well incorporate into your living space. Even when you have one of the coolest features on this, which is going to be your drop-down overhead bunk. When you have this down, believe it or not, we can still sit here and be comfortable and have a conversation or watch TV. Just really takes advantage of the beauty of a Class A, which is you have all of this space available to you.
And that's one of the other advantages of having a mid-entry
100%. Instead
of, if you have this bunk down, you need to go out, you're not ducking, you're in, you're out, and this is its own space.
Certainly. And I don't know about you, Steve, but I know when my missus has all her stuff set up over there.
Oh, yes.
And, iPad out and everything out that she's doing over there. And then you got to stop for fuel and then ask her to put all that up. It's a lot easier to just leave everything up there because you have a mid-entry versus a front entry.
We were on a trip, me and my wife, my two girls, and we were in a Class A. It was a one bathroom. And my wife tried to get, and she pushed and pushed and pushed with the product development team. She wanted to call this the Tracy Station, and the girls used it as a vanity. And so, if you put a flip-up mirror out here, and you put this in here, you could do, and that's where they all got ready at. And so I still call it the Tracy Station.
I love it. I love it. It's great.
So, lots of storage up above, which is awesome.
Yes, sir. And really well integrated. It's funny how many people even miss that there's even a drop-down overhead bunk up here. Just because of that, how well it's built in. But press of a button.
Yeah, right there. Press it, comes down.
Yes, indeed.
Ladder stores away where you go. And I know you're looking, and you're like, okay, how tall is Colin? We'll talk about it in every video.
That's fair. That's fair.
And you're wearing these shoes, so it's 6'5"-ish.
6'5"-ish.
6'5"-ish. So you can see plenty of room to move about the cabin.
Absolutely, 100%.
We got child safety tether built in, which I think is great, so you can start them while they're young.
There you have it.
Yeah.
And seatbelts too.
Yeah.
Every other manufacturer will tell you, oh, you can't do it in the, rearward facing. It's really just very expensive to do the pull testing. Yeah. So
we do. We have seatbelts right here.
And then you have two in the sofa as well.
Yep.
On top of that child seat tether. So you're never gonna, be in a situation where you feel like you don't have enough seatbelts for the occupants, which is a great thing.
Tech, let's talk a little tech. We have smart TVs here in the bedroom.
And directly across from your primary seating, right? Yeah. So easy to miss that. And, there are other manufacturers that don't deem that as important as we do. So really, really nice to have.
And we will talk about more storage. More storage. We have Cat 6. Yep. We have 110s. everything you could need for entertainment on the road.
Oh,
And
yes.
tall, gas pistons, hidden hinges. I mean, you can see these open to the ceiling, so it's not like you're gonna have to,
Very easy.
you know, force stuff in there. And beautiful two-tone.
Yes.
Let's talk about the look.
Indeed. So yeah, love the two-tone look. It really just gives you kind of the openness that you're used to out of a lighter wood, but the beauty of a dark at the same time. So really just, I love that contrast and the way it plays with our floor, and our design team has just absolutely knocked it out of the park in this one.
They always do.
Indeed.
Maureen knows what she is doing.
That she does. So you got your drawer pullouts here, and what do you not notice underneath the booth?
Carpet.
There you have it. Yeah. So full vinyl all the way throughout, which I love. Just so much easier. To
Oh yeah,
clean,
especially
to
if you are
crawl
traveling
underneath
with
there
kids,
with
because they are going to spill stuff.
100%.
And then you're going to have spaghetti stains on your carpet under the booth
yeah.
for the rest of the, and you don't want that.
And speaking of kids whose phones are always dead, we have a nice wireless charger there, and we have a USB-A, USB-C connection there.
And here.
You got your Keurig here. You know, you always have to have a 110 in a good location there, which that's perfect.
And one of the beauties of this floor plan is just the massive amount of counter space you have in this kitchen.
Indeed.
This is huge.
Yeah, and we really haven't even touched on the length of the overall unit.
No.
But to have a kitchen this size in a unit that is truly from tip to tip, including everything, under 35 feet in length is really special. So much more state and national park friendly. That's why this is our most popular seller, is that it is, under that 35 feet. There's a lot of companies out there that'll call something under 35, but the real overall length is a lot longer than that. So on top of being a more maneuverable, it's not going to hold you back from some of those campsites that do have those length restrictions. So
Nice. And all the tools here, convection microwave, induction cooktop, and just gobs of storage.
Oh yeah. And again, I just love pointing it out every time, but I love how that's not sealed in, so you can actually lift that, and if you wanted to cook outside, you absolutely could. It's 110 powered. Just plug it into the 110 source on your patio table.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Really fun feature.
We can't skip the fridge. People
That
leave
is
comments
accurate.
below.
For sure. Which, great. It's going to be 110 residential, so it's already frigid from only having it on a few minutes. That's one of the big benefits of having a true residential refrigerator. Have our ice trays there, and just a really great size that you have in this refrigerator. Full residential is always a nice thing.
Have our Rapid Camp Plus there, so everything, tanks, you name it, slides, going to be controlled from here.
There you have it.
That takes us into this midship bath. A lot of counter space in here.
Indeed, yeah. So, center bath, I love, a traditional. We have our it's going to be porcelain toilet there, but, it's none of the crazy vacuum systems. It's just simple, tried and true, and, we love this layout. Really good squared off shower, too. It's easy in this length as you get down a little bit more compact to say, oh, we need a radius shower to achieve that. No, we still have your big, rectangular shower in there, and really good size. Everything that you need out of that mid bath.
Yep, the tankless hot water control is in here, medicine cabinet, skylight, everything. Nice, large bathroom. And then we get into more storage. So this is one of those, where people will look at this and say, what's the point of that? Why'd you do that?
Sure.
And there's really good, we could have put nothing here.
Exactly right.
Why would you do that and have an empty wall when this
100%.
makes... it's a great little pantry in here for smaller items or coat hooks.
Or worse yet, get rid of some of that shower space that we have in there. So it's the best of both worlds you get. Yeah.
You can never
Extra
have
storage.
too much storage.
I love the look of it too. Just
And then we get into this.
there you have it.
Pantry's here.
Full depth all the way to the wall. So plenty of space for anything that you want to throw in there.
And then this one. So you're like, oh, you got the Keurig. And I know there are going to be people like, well, where am I going to store that? Right here.
There you go.
This is massive.
Indeed.
Massive storage here. So this is if you're making the dinette, because it's a huge dinette to make into a bed.
Absolutely correct.
You're going to need a filler cushion. So this isn't going to be tiny for just a little one. You can fit an adult on that.
And you notice in there too, there's the curtain rod, so it's very flexible. Whatever you want to use that space for, you can use that as hanging space or just flexible space for whatever appliances that you want to throw in there. Really, really good stuff. And you'll notice the louver doors there. So that's our tell normally when you're gonna have prep for a washer dryer. So not only just a combo, but you have your stackable prep. So you can do a full stackable washer dryer in there. But again, we have the wardrobe there. If you wanted to do hanging, you could. You have the shelves.
It depends how you're going to use it.
Exactly
you're going to full time, and then you could totally full time in this.
Absolutely.
Easy. Put your washer dryer in there, and you're good to go. And then we get into this bedroom with even more storage.
For sure. So, you know, this whole slide basically is going to be built out storage, just taking advantage of every little nook and cranny. Same thing, 2 more wardrobes there for additional hanging space, and then your full drawer pullouts there. So, you know, additional ladder for the drop down overhead bunk, which is in there. But you have your, you know, full soft close drawers that'll pull out. Same thing on this side, full overhead. You still have additional storage down here. You know, 110 outlet, as well as your USB and wireless charging next to the bed. So if you did forget the cord, no issue.
Not a problem, not a problem. And then we have our bed on the tilt-a-view mechanism. North to south bed, I think is hard to beat.
I really love it. You know, natural cross ventilation, but also just the ease of making this bed and just getting around it is super, super easy. And the tilt-a-view is awesome. You know, read a book, watch TV in bed. Yeah,
everything.
Can't beat it.
Anything you could want. It's one of those where now you have to decide, do I want that Class A, or do I want to step up to a 33.6? That's the question. I think you know the answer. So right now what you should do is build your own at thormotorcoach.com.